Okay, ladies and gentlemen, at this time, I'm going to call to order the meeting of the Merrimack Town Center Committee on February 10th, 2023. We're in the Matthew Thornton Room at the Merrimack Town Hall. We have pretty good attendance today. I think Finley will be along. He said he would be here, and he's the only one who hadn't talked to me. Bill Wilkes is excused. He's in Texas somewhere. I know he didn't want to commute, didn't want to do it by Zoom. I'm going to ask Mike once again to be our minute taker, if that's okay. Thank you very
Yes, happy
much,
to do it,
Mike.
yeah.
And we have a guest today. Dave Trippett is here just to observe us and make sure we behave. And he's going to his comments will be welcome, but we're always glad to have visitors and people interested in the town center committee and what it's trying to do. The first order of business today is approval of minutes of January the 6th meeting. I distributed those to you all, and does anyone have any comments, questions, corrections? You're here, Finley. Where did he put?
Over here, sir, right here.
Well, what happened to his card?
It's there. It's tipped over.
It's right in front of Bruce.
Yeah, I think that's
Ah, there it is. All right, we didn't forget you, Phil. Good. Thank you. That's okay. I know how that happens. Billy, we're in the process of approving minutes of January the 6th for the Town Center Committee. If you had any, I distributed those earlier in the week, and if you have any questions or comments, or if we're ready for a motion to approve those minutes, that would be appreciated.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes as printed.
Thank you, Michael. Michael
I'll second that.
Redding made a motion to approve, and Karen Contos made a motion to made a second to the motion. All right. Any discussion of that motion? All those in favor of the motion? Any opposed or abstaining?
Abstain.
Okay, Bruce and Matt abstain.
And Karen too. Karen Freed.
Okay. All right. Good. Okay, we have that taken care of, and we'll turn to old business. And the first thing on the old business agenda is discussion of our response, the committee response to the high school traffic plan, which was presented on November the 18th. I sent you a draft of a letter which I had prepared, and I received some comments back, and Matt especially wanted to comment on it. I'm going to turn over to him first. This is the draft letter. Does everyone have a copy, or do you need an extra? I have got some extras.
Yeah, I was trying to open it on my phone. That was the problem. Then I hacked off the extension. Then I could open it on my phone. But I went to my computer, then I could. So it was
Okay.
whatever, you know.
I don't know. I've got some weird
It was
system.
in .odt or something. And it didn't. I didn't recognize
Mine
it.
said
Like,
that too.
did it? Yeah.
I got around it eventually.
Yeah, I did too. With a little trickery and whatever.
I hate when that happens.
I know.
You spend more time trying to get to it. Yeah. So anyway, Matt, please give us some comments, and then we'll have some more discussion. This is just a draft I put together based on the discussion we all had that day, and I think you have some concerns. Yeah.
Well, just a couple of points of clarification. We did have another meeting with Steve Keach in my office, myself, Tom Tussaud, and Steve. And there are some modifications, changes going to be made to, oh, it was over there, but it's not there anymore, to the whole master plan. And we're trying to stage things. And we're finally getting to the point where we're going to put a schedule together. The board at their last meeting took a very significant step in the right direction by approving the demolition of Brentwood, herein known as the Red Building. And so we are getting bids from demolition contractors in order to take that building down, take all the foundation out, all the cement out, everything like that. I want a nice, clean site left there. For now, it's just going to be like a pad site, no cement on it or anything like that. And then we'll see where it takes us. But that's the first domino that needs to drop. So I just wanted to make that announcement because I'm not sure everybody has heard such.
No,
In-
last we left off, it hadn't been decided.
I know. Well,
Yeah.
everybody kind of cheered at the end. It was a touching moment for me because I've been staring at that building for 6 years now, and it's time. It's time.
Will you feel so bad when they do the green building?
No, I won't. No, I won't feel bad at all. Although there's 12 of us in there, so it's well, we're all very friendly, So anyway, and I thank you very much for writing this opinion letter. There's a couple of areas I think I'd like to maybe a point of clarification. This little section here, the committee noted that should say the agreement to relocate the superintendent's office should say SAU 26. I think SAU 24 is someplace over there.
Yes,
I'm not
that
sure.
was a typo.
To the site of the present skate park has not been agreed upon by all parties involved. What was the committee's meaning in that statement? All parties involved.
I think that was something that, as I remember, Bill Wilkes brought to our attention. He said, well, we haven't agreed on this, or there isn't agreement on this, moving the SAU office to that location. Now, that may not be correct. I don't think anybody else had that kind of knowledge, but he seemed to be on top of it.
Right.
Now,
I recall that he was just saying that he was afraid that because it was undetermined, that it could affect the outcome of the plan, and that could be considerable. And so he was wondering if that should be something that we should take up as a point to say that that is a critical decision, and does that bear on any of the outcome for sidewalks, traffic improvements? Could it derail any of it? I think is what his ultimate concern was.
yeah. My observation would be it doesn't derail it. The important stuff to us is the sidewalks and getting the pedestrians and getting the traffic in and out of there. And if the SAU unit went somewhere else, I don't think it.
Yeah,
This is my opinion.
We have looked at 3 locations. We
Yeah.
looked at putting an addition onto the 3-story addition of the high school that was built in 2001.
Yeah.
That proved out to be one of the most expensive options. We looked at the renovation of the current Brentwood facility. That was very expensive also because of the condition of Brentwood, and basically what you have to do is just tear it down and rebuild again, but that's not a optimal spot for it given the current traffic pattern and the amount of high school kids that drive their cars. And God bless them. High school kids, used to be one of them, love them. They're full of
We've all been there.
vim and vinegar, and I can hear their exhaust pipes, from my office, and I know when it's time they're leaving. So anyway, that wasn't really a good site. And then we looked at the acre of land at the end of the parking lot where students park, because we do have an acre there. It's wooded right now. And then we looked at the O'Gara site, and the school district planning and building committee agreed with the O'Gara site. Is that correct?
As far as the
As
location,
far as the location?
as far as the location on the
Yeah.
complex,
On the complex.
I- you know,
I'm only asking Finley because he's a member and his wife is a member. Laurie, right? Is your wife?
it's our date night.
That's their date. Yeah, that's their date night. It used to be Wayne and Carol Morrison from
Right,
years gone
right.
by.
Yeah.
So, and then Stan and Pat Heinrich when Stan was
Yeah.
with us, it was kind of like I should have brought my wife and we could have had some fun. Anyway, so that seems to be the preferred location. I'm just wondering who the other parties are because you know that the land there is the sole property of the Merrimack School District, even though the skate park, we've allowed it to reside there.
Yes.
There was an agreement, I have it right here, from a long time ago, has Claude Levitt's signature on it, superintendent before Jim.
Yeah.
And in 2018, the agreement ended, and the town took away the tennis courts because they were in disrepair, and we agreed to let them have the skate park there until they found a suitable replacement or a suitable site for where it may be moved and/or reconstructed in a different fashion in a different part of town, like perhaps like Wasserman Park, if there was any room down there. Seems like a logical spot to me, but that's not my bailiwick. So I was just wondering what was meant by the term other parties. Is it just this committee? Because everybody I've talked to has kind of had
Okay.
agreement. Or
My
did Bill not think that we had the authority to do such, given that the skate park was there?
I don't know exactly his thinking.
Yeah.
He just suggested that there wasn't agreement, and I took it to be among the people who were chartering this study and so on. It was implied that maybe there was some political overtones to this that we didn't understand here, certainly.
Right, I did make a comment at that meeting, that for me, I think there's the potential option, I believe, if we do come up with a safety complex as a town, that the police department would have the square footage required, and I thought the ability to make it work. I can't remember who disagreed when they said it would be very expensive, and I don't believe it would be that expensive because you're not making classrooms, you're making offices. And so I don't know if that's triggered his thought on that, because that's just my own opinion as a person here, and
Yeah.
and as a town person.
Yeah,
But
and I agree with you. If those dominoes are someday going to fall, if Merrimack's going to have a safety complex or safety center, whatever you want to call it, which houses both police and fire,
Yeah.
then that building would be vacant.
Yeah.
Then that would be a decent
To look at.
option to look at. I mean, I'm ready to move into one of the jail cells right now. I'd be a perfect office for 'em. But
So
so,
much better than what you have.
yeah, exactly. So anyway, yeah, I mean, if that's the concern, but here it just looks like that the board does not have the authority to build the office there.
Okay, I
Yeah.
think
And I don't think that was the intent.
that wasn't the intent, and I will take a shot at clarifying
Okay.
this language. Maybe I'll just leave that out. I mean, who really cares?
right, from our standpoint,
From our standpoint, we like the whole plan because it alleviates traffic problems and it creates a pedestrian way all the way, completes the loop. There's one big piece that's missing is that O'Gara Drive section where there is no sidewalk
Well,
now.
there is no sidewalk, and the sidewalk that starts with the last parking lot is like, has a curb cut of like that high, because it's
Yeah.
just like a berm. It's just like the one on McElwain Street. It
Right.
really
Yeah.
might be nice to do McElwain, put some granite curb down there, snaz that area up, and make it look like a real sidewalk going around, because right now you have that same sloped
Yeah.
asphalt that has chips and whatever taken out of it. So anyway, yeah, I agree with that. And then the other one over here is we were showing, I think Steve was showing a one way only in the, getting rid of the high school kids and the buses and everything like that on O'Gara.
On O'Gara,
O'Gara.
yeah.
Yeah, so that's still, I would like for you to keep that in there because that's still a concern. It's a concern of us also. So I kind of agree with that. Although we are going to be sometime in the very near future in charge of our own traffic and crossing guards after talking with the chief of police, Brian Levesque. So I'll be the crossing guard there.
Really?
And I'll be just flagging them on. I'll be stopping traffic here and here until that high school is clear. Everybody will stop on the Boots Lake Road. But yeah, so anyway,
Absolutely.
absolutely. So, you know, that's something I think it's good that you bring that up because
Okay, we'll just leave that.
I wasn't
sentence.
I wasn't real comfortable with I don't want to say comfortable, but I'm still not 100% on that one.
Yeah,
You know.
but we could leave it here as all it says here is that it's a concern.
Yeah,
and-
exactly.
And because it causes congestion point and getting out of there.
Yeah.
And, yeah,
Well,
Yeah.
another bottleneck, and it has nothing to do with the school master plan going on, is coming out. It backs up down onto Babs Lake Road with the buses going into the elementary and upper elementary,
Oh,
or the upper elementary school.
yeah.
It'll
The
back up.
JMU's traffic going down McKell Lane backs up to past the police station.
Yeah, right out here.
Right
yes.
out here. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and
exactly.
but that's not part of this
No.
proposal anyhow.
no, it's off-site from
Yeah.
this, yeah.
Well, a lot of that's exacerbated by the number of parents driving their kids nowadays.
I'm guilty.
Are you really? Okay, that's fine.
Not my kids, my
But-
grandkids.
Your grandkids. But, you know, at any given day, even at like Reed's Ferry School, I mean, you have like well over 100 cars coming in,
Queued up, yeah.
queued up. Back in the old days, everybody took the bus and walked to the bus stop. And, you know, now things have kind of changed and people's
Yeah.
expectations are different. And, you know, I can understand that. But it has caused some issues. Might as well bring this up. One of the issues that I have that we're going to take a look at as a district is we're utilizing the Our Lady of Mercy parking lot
Yeah.
as parking for the JMU staff. At any given time during that agreement, they can give us 90-day notice and we're gone. What do I do with all the teachers? So at some point,
Yeah.
we should plan for that, but I don't know if we have the land to plan for that
Yeah,
in that space. So
yeah,
off in the distance.
yeah. I think,
We'll let Nick take care of that one.
I think the church will keep going.
Well, I
The
hope so.
church's attendance is down in most cases, so,
Mhm.
No, true.
it probably,
It all depends what the diocese does in Manchester.
that's true. It's not local
It's not
control.
local control.
No.
It's
Yeah,
in Manchester.
yeah.
If we have ever had the opportunity to purchase that piece of property, that'd be something that would be,
You'd be doing that, yeah.
we would like to do that.
Well, put
But
that
that's
on-
just me talking. That's
Put
not the
that on your
board.
wish list because it'll be a cold day.
But yeah, if we could just, you know, adjust that first block and then leave the other one in there because I think that's a valid concern. I'd appreciate it.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right, I will do that and I'll distribute another copy for everybody to look at. And is there anybody else have any comments they'd like to offer on this? This is, Matt's comments are very constructive and, I think we'll be able to do those with no problem. I don't know if it even helps. I think the school board is aware of the need here and it sounds like the school board is going along with his recommendations and his proposals. Is that?
Oh, absolutely, with a few minor tweaks and changes. I know Carl, when he was here, he brought up a little, you know, bugaboo we had in the plan with cars going down McKell Wayne Street facing oncoming traffic
yep.
and then signage and everything like that. So we've got to work through some details, but at least we're starting off with the demolition of Brentwood, which is the first domino that needs to drop.
Yeah,
And then it'd be nice to do the blue house first, because there's 6 people in there, and perhaps we could look into moving them to a school location. And then after that's done, then we could do all the groundwork and the utility work and the reconfiguration of the parking lot and do all the dirt work and asphalt work,
yeah,
you know, at once.
yeah.
So, and then leave the green building last fall when a new office or we occupy the police station, whatever happens.
Whatever it is.
Whatever it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, so.
Okay. Matt, thank you very much.
Yeah,
I'm
thank
glad
you,
you're
sir.
here today to explain all of that, and I think you've made it a better suggestion than it would have been. Any other questions or thoughts on that? And I'll get you another letter. You can all have a look at that. The next item on the old businesses discussions is the status on the Sohegan River Trail. And for that, we're fortunate to have Bruce with us again today. And thank you for coming and thank you for the update.
Ms. Bush? So the bid opening is on Monday. So I don't know if any yet have been delivered, but there were 4 companies that pulled bid specifications. WP Davis Excavations, ED Sweat, RM Piper, and American Excavation Corp. So we'll be having that opening on Monday, and since it's been separated in this go around so that it is not a contiguous project, it is, I don't want to say a fill-in, but allows the contractor some flexibility. We're hoping that we're going to have a much better response this time.
Good. When is that a public event that,
Bid openings are typically public.
Yeah.
so
when and where then?
Oh,
You
my
said
goodness.
Monday.
I should know that. I know it's 1 o'clock. I know it's Monday, and I think it is 1 o'clock. I didn't make that notation.
Okay.
I apologize for that.
Finley's checking his,
Yeah, I might be a second though.
okay.
I'm hoping you're going to bail me out. Make that note.
Well, that's okay. I
It's
can
not-
call,
yeah.
I know your phone number. I'll find out.
And then when does it have to be completed then?
Yeah, good question.
Believe it's June of next year.
That's the whole thing, but do you have a schedule for making an award, given that we get an acceptable bid?
Not at this point in time.
You don't, you know?
Since I'm new to the structure here, I believe it would probably be at a council meeting. What I typically did in the past was a meeting following the bid opening after, they were analyzed and a recommendation was
Yeah, you
made,
need some
then it
time
would
to
be-
look them over. They'll
Correct.
all have little wrinkles in them and maybe some trade-offs here and there, or maybe even go back to the favored vendor for some clarifications or
Possibly.
expansions. So those things can take more time. And, okay, well, thank you, Bruce. That's good news to see progress there. And the next item on, any questions or comments on Sohegan River Trail? No? Keep your fingers crossed. Keep going. Status of the TCC Facebook page. Bill is not here, but I'm sure Nicholas is right on top of it.
I am here for sure. Our Facebook page. We have relatively the same amount of followers that we had the last meeting, so there hasn't been any growth there. What I really wanted to talk about today was something that happened last month, and it kind of ties in with our videos, the content that we post to that page. So last month we had posted, as the Route 3 Wire Road project was happening, or not happening, but was being presented to the town council, and there was a public hearing on that. So we had produced several different videos about that project, or about the public hearing, I should say. And we also did videos after that public hearing that just illustrated, who attended the meeting, who spoke the public hearing, and what the council had decided. And then we also made a video that was very specific to the town center committee itself, because our chairperson Nelson Disco had spoke at that public hearing. So we made a clip using Nelson's comments. And one of the interesting things about adminning a Facebook page, you're going to get comments, and you want people to comment on posts, because that's going to create engagement. The more engagement you have on your page, the more likely other Facebook users are going to see the content that you had posted. In general, I rarely respond to comments on any of the pages that I admin, unless it's very benign. But if someone's just sharing their opinion, I generally don't respond, but I did feel compelled to respond to someone's comment on that video. I don't know if the rest of the committee had seen that. And the reason why I responded was I just found myself watching misinformation happen in real time. The video really just showed Nelson's comments to the town council and showed the town council's decision to go with a signalized intersection. And the first comment from presumably a resident was misinformation. This person wrote, the one line that stuck out to me was, I'm trying to find the comment, I had it pulled up. Excuse me for a moment. The town is going to pay a ton of money and inconvenience every person using that intersection so that they can put in a rotary. So despite posting a video that detailed that the council voted on a signalized intersection, this person posted that a rotary was going to be put there. So I did comment that the council, that residents had opportunities to provide input, and several did. The council voted on a signalized intersection, not a rotary or roundabout, and I detailed the cost. Again, reiterating the video, the cost was 80% New Hampshire DOT, 20% town, and posted links to our 5-minute recap of the meeting and the meeting in full.
Good.
So, I did that, but if any other board member happens to see misinformation on any town Facebook page happening in real time, I just urge you to please comment or post a link to the meeting in full. It's as simple as that. My role with the town and the entire media division feels that we are a primary source of information. And we really want the public to understand that if someone visits the town center committee's page or the town's page or the police department's page, that anything that's being posted is factual, and that we're a primary source of information for folks to see what's happening in town. And I hope I articulated that point well.
Good.
Okay.
Good. Did you want to say something, Bruce? You want to say?
It's going back to the previous subject, so I apologize for interrupting. I just got clarification that bid opening is at 2:00.
Okay.
Oh, 2:00. It says 1:00
No,
on
that
you.
was my question. Was it at 1?
Oh, and I just saw it quickly. Okay.
2:00.
Okay. Good.
And then also, if you're on Facebook, I've said this before at other meetings too. If you're on Facebook and you visit the town center page and you see something's been posted, I just kindly ask you to share it to your personal page, because just like I had said a few moments ago, more engagement is a good thing. And it's more likely that other people are going to see content in their feed if we're doing that.
Okay.
That's all I have on the Facebook side of things. If you wanted to move on to the video projects that we
Yeah,
have.
go ahead and,
Great.
yeah. Unless somebody has questions. Anybody have any questions about the Facebook status? And if not, go ahead. Go ahead.
Sure. So we have a couple upcoming projects that are relative to the town center. We are trying to produce a video about the ice skating rink. We're trying to do a Merrimack moment about the ice skating rink, but the weather has just not been cooperating with us. Yeah.
It's a pond. It's a pond.
It did finally open for about 36 hours on the coldest day ever, I think. It's the coldest day ever.
Yeah.
But we are working on that. We're hoping to put something together, and Matt Kasparius, Parks and Rec, is going to help us with that as well. I reached out to Matt Chevenel earlier this week, and we had a conversation before the meeting. We're looking to produce 2 videos about the Brentwood building. One in the short term will be a Merrimack moment about the project, the reason why the Brentwood building's being torn down, and a quick history about it and what it's going to mean for the town center moving forward. And the second video will be long term, so you won't see it for a while, before and after. So we'll take all this footage now for this Merrimack moment, tell its story up till today, and then once the project's completed, we'll sit down with Matt again and show that before and after using both.
Well, I think
pieces
we
of
need
footage.
some footage of the actual the deconstruction and demolition also.
Absolutely.
I think the people of Merrimack would find that exceedingly fascinating on a Saturday night while they're sitting around. I know I would. So,
Yeah, absolutely.
wow, look at that.
Was that not built as a single-family home, as a, just
Yeah,
as
it was built
residence?
as a single-family home. It was purchased by Sarask, Southeastern Regional, whatever,
Yeah.
you know what it is. You know, it was Merrimack, Bedford, Litchfield, Hudson, Londonderry all together as a consortium for special needs kids. And then it got added on and added on and added on, and what you wound up was a series of disjointed buildings that became a 10,000 square foot kind of footprint,
Yeah, I see.
which is
Yeah.
6 inches from the property line.
Okay.
I don't think we had too many. I don't think we had too many inspections during the construction of that.
Well, you were exempt, weren't you, being the school?
Well, it was Soreska was doing it. They were a private corporate. Was school didn't construct it, but perhaps yes. It was a long time ago. I
Yeah,
wasn't
yeah,
here. I don't
I don't remember. I remember discussions of it. I remember discussions of the Sarask and what it was doing for the area, and we were okay with it,
Yeah, it
but
was
we
good.
didn't get into the building detail. Yeah.
Obviously.
Yeah, right. Okay, well, thank you, Nick. Any questions for Nick on his projects? This is really good stuff to get out to the public and get out with the video, especially. It'll be fun to watch it get torn down.
Nick, any statistics on the hits and the views for the public hearing and that sort of thing? Those posts that you put out about Wire Road?
Well, there was a few different Wire Road videos. The town counts the one about the public hearing itself, or post public hearing, I should say. There was just about 100 on the Nelson, the one with Nelson in there.
Okay.
Okay, well, we can come back if you discover anything.
Yeah, and the one just before that, it said there were 41 impressions, so it ended up on folks' feeds 41 times directly from the town center page. But that video was posted on other pages as well, so I'd have to pull up all those other pages. But the best thing any of the town pages can do is just be shared. If it clicking share, clicking like, commenting, even if it's just an emoji, a thumbs up or a smile, that's how people are going to see these things.
Okay. Okay, thank you. Next items on the agenda is, first off, the status of the Route 3 Wire Road intersection. That you just reported that the council has made its decision. Where are we now, Bruce, with that, with the state and so on?
It's gone through engineering right now, taking what was approved by the council and working through for final plans.
Okay, so final plans are in preparation. right?
Correct.
Yeah, and those are being coordinated with the bridge, the next one, right?
They're now merged together as one larger plan.
Okay, so it'll be one set of plans and it'll show the whole
Correct.
works, yeah.
Correct.
And what's the expected, how long will this part of the process take now? Roughly?
I'm not sure. I think we should be along in a few months
Few months?
as far as getting things ready to go out
Yeah.
to bid.
Okay, so that a few is 3, is 4, is 2, is just,
You're talking about completion or?
completion, getting the bid package ready. I guess the next big thing is the bid package.
Right.
And that's
Well,
what you're working on.
That's being worked on, yeah.
Yeah.
That's being worked on primarily with Quantum Engineering and Beta.
Right,
It's not scheduled for till 2025, right? That's the construction.
Believe that's correct.
Yeah. So, and I know that, I think last time we were talking about some National Environmental Protection Act reviews and things like that that were still in play.
It's a long process.
So
Yeah.
I know the design will, probably go quick here as they, make the changes with the signalized intersection, but there still is quite a bit.
Knowing exactly
Yeah.
the direction of the path of where it's going now,
Right.
it will expedite it some, but yeah, it's
Yeah.
gonna take a bit.
I don't think there's going to be any bid documents for at least a year and a half to 2. I think, right?
I'm not sure.
Yeah.
that's more than a few months.
I didn't come as prepared for that.
No.
Because it is in engineering.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, I'm just trying to piece together what Kyle had left us with the last couple of times, recognizing that,
Well, I believe that merging them together expedited, because one of those was in, I believe, 26, and I think
Yes,
That's
it
Wire
moved the
Road, yeah.
process sooner.
yes.
So I'm embarrassed, but I'm not sure.
no, that's fine.
So
Bottom of the
the
point.
so the bridge, it's way too narrow and is past its useful lifespan a long time ago. And then Wire Road, that's all going to be reconfigured, and there's going to be a signalized intersection,
Yeah.
and it's all going to be part of the expansion, the widening of the bridge or the new bridge, and everything's going to be re-engineered so everything meets nice and
Right.
everything like that. And then you'll probably start the construction probably the day after the first day of school starts to have maximum input on delaying kids getting to class. So. I'm sorry. We'll talk later on. I just sent you an email. So.
Okay,
Could have gone through that 2 years in a row, though.
Could have.
Put them together was a great move
that's right, yeah, we've been,
I agree.
Yeah.
You're going to be out there, do it.
to get it done, yeah.
yeah, yeah. Okay, well, thank you. That brings us up to date with the old business status. And we go on with new business items. And Mike, you are still trying to work with this DOT and get them to help us understand how we're going to manage the
Yeah.
traffic through here when
So yeah, so
Yeah, but-
going back to Matt's comment, I when we started talking about this, and then we started to get some dates, and then they were publishing. The DOT was publishing when the southbound lane on the Everett Turnpike was going to go under construction. immediately I thought, what could be the impact to Daniel Webster Highway? Because you're going to get those people that are, jumping off just like they do when there's an accident. And if we've got, the town already challenged with the Babusick Brook crossing, the bridge there and the Wire Road, it's going to be very, very challenging. So I wanted to see if we could have Wendy Johnson, who is the project manager for DOT, come down and just meet with us, explain to us a little bit about the scheduling of things. She was not initially aware that our project here on Daniel Webster was going to coincide so directly with the FE Turnpike, southbound lane. So she expressed some kind of surprise in her email about that. So what I was hoping is that would at least bring that to her attention. And I'd asked her if there was any sort of mitigation plans that she was working on or the DOT was working on that wouldn't circumvent traffic to Daniel Webster Highway, or at least discourage it in some fashion, I think is what we want to try to give our feedback towards. So I think she understands it, but she hasn't been very communicative with this. And so I've just reached out to her again today to see if we could schedule her for March or April.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, I think the fact that we've made them aware of it has been worthwhile. And certainly they could take different approaches to managing the traffic if they have to close lanes, which is probably in the offing here in order to widen. So I think that making them aware of it, I think we've done a service to the state, that they'll be alerted to the fact that they're creating a problem somewhere else when they start backing traffic up into Manchester. Yeah.
Yeah, and if I don't hear from her, in the next couple of weeks, what I'll probably do is I know the project manager that's running the Babusick Brook Bridge and the Wire Road at
Yeah.
DOT.
Yeah.
I used to work with him, so I know him very well. So I could at least give him a call and see if there's any way that we can get to Wendy, maybe through him,
Yeah.
or maybe he could coordinate that presentation for us.
Yeah.
So I'll see if that'll be my next move if she continues to kind of just ignore my requests.
Okay, thank you, Michael. That's good news. Now, we wanted to talk next about developing a strategy to continue to advance the town center plan. We had some conversations off and on. We asked the town council to put in some money every year to do a little bit of sidewalk. And that has not fallen on favorable results. And the question is, what do we want to do as a committee? Is there anything we can do to advance this, to get more interest from the town council as far as financial interest? It's a very small percentage of the total budget of the town. We got
Which is true.
and just to do a little bit every year to show that we're making progress and that that this is going somewhere, because short of the Sauhegan River Trail, that's going to be, well, maybe O'Gara Drive, but we don't have real dates on that. But if we could do some little bit, even to the point of doing a part of a project, do the necessary survey and land work that sometimes comes with the town interns. During the summer, we get an intern, and Public Works uses them. If they've got some kids that are good at surveying, they might do some
Certainly research on right-of-way, if nothing else.
yeah. I mean, that's a small piece of the total packages, but
But it's necessary so you don't end up with, a building 6 feet from a property line, or a sidewalk that turns out to be on someone else's property,
6 inches.
6 inches.
yeah, right. Yeah, that's something that we might look at. And to do that, I think the first thing the town council will ask, well, how much? How much are you gonna spend? So we might consider doing is breaking some of these projects in, we did identify a group of projects. We break them into smaller pieces, and do just the land acquisition part of it as a token event for 1 year.
We're actually gonna be having conversations in the not too distant future about Church Street closure or what we
course-
might be doing with
Of course,
that.
that's good.
And I know the fire chief has been, with new set of eyes, looking
Yep.
up there from a safety standpoint, emergency access and so on, getting trucks turned around, things that have to happen because it's, as everybody knows, it's an awkward location,
Yeah.
to say the least. So that conversation is starting to rekindle because that will be likely happening at the time when we do the Wire Road
Ties into the
intersection. Yeah.
Wire Road, yeah.
Yeah, so that's gonna be happening soon.
Yeah,
Those hearings, meeting with the neighbors.
so maybe we might make a recommendation to the town that they, in fact, look hard at the Church Street intersection once again.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah, because there's not an inexpensive way of cutting that slope back so you can keep the road open with the sidewalk there. Could be done, but it would be costly.
It's gonna be
Well,
costly.
I say it could be done. I don't know, from a layman's standpoint, it appears as it could be done, but I could see a boatload of effort going into it. From an engineering standpoint, maybe it can, I don't know, but
Well, I think Kyle had taken a quick look at it and he felt the same way. It can be done. It's just a little money, that's all. And,
it's only money.
yeah,
It's, I wish it were easy. And I know $50,000 is a drop in the bucket for what goes on in town with all of our different budgets that run our community, but it's a chore. It's really a chore trying to find things. And my personal concern is in the next few years, are we hitting that point where that stability of the tax rate that's so important to me and I think my colleagues as well, is something we're gonna be coming up against a wall, I'm afraid. It's, inflation is real, some people don't think it's happening, but it's a real factor. I mean, we're losing employees because trying to compete in that market with salaries is difficult.
yeah.
Between communities around us. My son's police department's down a large chunk of patrolmen, and they're all moving. They go to Nashua. Cities can afford to pay a lot more money than communities can, just the way we raise our revenues to run our towns.
Yeah.
So we're missing about 5 of them, I think, right now. Mechanics down at wastewater. I mean, the list goes on, and a lot of it is by sheer salaries.
Mm-hmm.
So I know it's not the great news that
Yeah.
you wanted to hear, but it's, I think the majority of the counselors are cognizant of those issues and wanting to, make it work. I know Bill talks about Continental Boulevard. I can't even think of that right now.
That
I
was,
just- it's
that was
just-
off the table.
Well,
yeah.
and I get his point though,
Yeah.
talking about pedestrian passage, there are people
Yeah.
using it and I understand that, but I can't even for a moment think about that before we tackle the center, the town center
The town center, yeah.
position, yeah.
Yeah, Reed's Ferry is hanging out there too. I mean, there are some small stretches, they're not in our jurisdiction, but
Sure.
there's places where a little bit of sidewalk could go a
Could
long
go, yeah.
way because it'll fill in gaps that are there that
Sure,
aren't coming up for development.
right,
Yeah.
absolutely.
So, in that vein, I got this piece of information. It's called Pedestrian and Bicycle Funding Opportunities from the U.S. Department of Transportation, Transit Safety and Highway Funds, September 9th of 2022. And it's a list, it's got about 50 to 100 different sources of funding that we might look at. Some of them obviously aren't, some of them apply to bicycles as well. But I'm gonna hand these out to everybody and let you have a look at it. And so I'm gonna keep one for myself and you can pass those down there. And see if you'd like to, see if there's anything on there that leaps out at you that says, hey, we could do this. And maybe we could apply, this is applying for grants. They may be matching grants, but they may be, they may not be. Some of them might be real grants. Of course, we all know where that leads. We know what happened to the Sauhegan River Trail when we went for a grant. You know, it was a little trail through the woods, and it's become a monster.
1.4, yeah.
Yeah. But something to think about, and it gives you all the different Federal Transit, OSD, and the Highway Administration, different sources. But we can get more information on any of these, but this is a list that was given out to the pedestrian and bicycle regional group that meets occasionally in Nashua.
Nelson?
Now, having yesterday been at the National Regional Planning Commission meeting where funding was the topic, there's a lot of stiff competition for many of these.
Yes.
That doesn't mean you shouldn't be applying for it. but
Yep, that's
there
right.
There is stiff competition.
True, yeah. Yes, there is. Mike?
Yeah, I wanted kind of seeing what sort of guidance and experience we could tap into, and is there someone at the Nashua Regional Planning Commission that could kind of guide us into this is a good one for us? It would seem like there's a lot of work that we would have to put in, but if someone that we could get in touch with that knows this very well, maybe they could make a recommendation, and then we could, as a group, review the criteria for that one.
Yeah, I think that's a good suggestion, because they do have people down there that are focused on
Right.
pedestrian travel, and
Yeah.
and so that'd
Just-
be a good
They
place
know
to
us,
start.
right? They know us, so they would know what the likelihood might be for us to actually get something. I
Yeah.
think that's the key: is what effort can we put in that will give us the highest chance for
Get-
success?
Chance of getting something. Yeah,
Yeah.
very good. I think that's a good suggestion. I'll pursue that.
You'll be able to
further.
reach out. Okay,
Yeah.
thank you.
Any other thoughts from anybody?
Matt was talking about all the kids going to school and being driven. If there was the ability for them to ride their bikes more, maybe you wouldn't need as many buses. But of course, in the winter, that's different.
Yeah, that's it. You always get into the weather thing.
When I was a kid,
What?
when I was a kid.
We can all tell those stories.
Oh, yes, we
but-
can.
Yeah, no, I agree with you though.
You saving paper?
Pardon?
Fiscal impact analysis on
Oh, yeah, I reuse paper.
Yeah,
I
no.
apologize.
No,
Here's
it's
one
very
that's
good for you. No, I'm good. I just got a kick out of it.
Sometimes you'll wind up with a lot of copies I don't need.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, okay, I'll take that for guidance, Michael, and report back next time, see if there's any way we can work through NRPC and getting some support there.
It wasn't here. I see a crosswalk potential grant. I don't know all the dollar signs and what it all means, but that's out of our jurisdiction. But they were talking crosswalks. The Highway Safety Committee was talking
Yeah.
crosswalks up at Shaw's.
Yeah, is
And,
that still on the table with them?
It may be. It's we taught somebody approached the town about it, the Highway Safety Committee, and
Yeah,
we talked about it. And that was the extent of it at that moment. But I see that, so I'm gonna let Paul know about it, and Bruce
Yeah.
know about it.
well, maybe Bruce has some information on it.
or it might be, if it's something that could be utilized.
Yeah.
But-
Which one is that,
It's,
Finley?
alphabetically, it just goes down, crosswalks for pedestrians, pedestrian refuge islands, new or retrofit.
First page.
First
Yeah.
page, yep.
Yep, okay.
That jumped out, but it wasn't for us. 'Cause those crosswalks will, if there are any, will probably happen during the Wire Road thing.
Well, yeah, actually, it's out of the Wire Road area of interest. Wire Road, even the bridge doesn't reach as far as they want to go. They want to go up near Shaw's. I think.
Who does it?
I thought it
might.
was in that
I didn't remember.
region. The idea being that there's a lot of residential on the east side of Route 3 in that area. And that this
Sure.
this would be within walking distance from any of them. There's no sidewalks on any of those little side streets, unfortunately. But
Yeah.
I don't know if the highway safety has got some attention and got some interest at the council level. We would support them, but it's not in our jurisdiction.
Right, no,
Yeah.
I know it. I just was glancing through these.
Yeah, no, good point.
See if anything jumped out.
Yeah. Okay, and then the final new business that we had for today was talk about the Winter Carnival. I spoke with Matt Kasparius. He's doing the Winter Carnival outdoors again. He isn't interested in moving it indoors. And I explained to him that it's difficult for us to work outdoors with a booth in the wind and the cold and everything else. And he understands that, but he's still going to stay outdoors. He said it cost him, when they had an indoor one, because people tracked in so much mud and dirt into their
Oh.
meeting hall, they had to have a professional cleaners come and clean the place up. It was $1,000 out of his budget. So he's not interested in.
You think it's your sidewalks, right? Oh, gosh.
So that's probably dead for this year, unless somebody really wants to go and sit outdoors, and I don't.
When is it anyhow? I had looked at my
It's
calendar.
the
and stuff.
last weekend in February. It's
So it is.
yeah, it's
The 25th.
the 25th of February. Yeah, down on the Saturday. I expect Public Works will be supporting it again. Is that true or not?
Oh, it isn't my
I'm not sure.
You're not sure?
I'm not up to speed on that
Okay,
particular event,
yeah,
but I would assume if they have done that in the past, that they will continue.
they did last year anyway. They came out they brought their big trucks and everybody, all the kids got to sit in the seat of the
That's a very popular event.
big truck, and that was. So that's all I have on the agenda to cover. And we need to set a date for our next meeting. Oh, we open for public comments at this time. So, any comments, any advice you'd like to give us?
No, I try working on projects in town and I find massive roadblocks also.
I'm sorry.
I find roadblocks to projects that I'd like to get done in town halls.
Oh, you do?
You're not unique in that area.
No.
But I think it's a fantastic project.
Yeah.
And I think it would be very beneficial to the townspeople to have this completed, when it gets done.
Most
I know
people,
the town can find money. They find money for all sorts of things.
yeah,
It's just how much do they want to help support the project?
yeah,
That's the thing.
yeah.
So if I can do anything to help the project, I would love to volunteer to help.
Okay,
Because
well,
I think this is a very important thing for the town, in the central area, to pull people together. And ultimately, the only thing in town, instead of the drive-through.
yeah,
So I'm very much in support of this.
Good.
You know?
Good.
So like I said, if I can help at all or do publication promotionals or anything like that, I'm your guy.
All right. Well, thank you. It's helpful and
Okay.
spread the word.
Oh, I believe me, I will.
Spread the word. Right.
Dave, are you on any special committees or something that I'm not
on the
aware of?
Smart Park Committee, sub on the Conservation Committee.
Okay.
And what was the first one you mentioned?
Smart Park. That's, down by the radio controlled airplanes, down off Griffin Street.
Oh, the Sklar. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, I've
Yeah,
been
now I
working on that for
understand.
a year or so, trying to clean that property up.
Yeah.
Make it usable and bullet friendly.
Yeah. Did they have to cut some trees? There was an issue with trees down there.
Well, we have a lot of trees that fall on the trails,
Yeah.
and me being, I'm handicapped walk challenge,
Yeah.
so I have a hard time walking down there.
Yeah.
But I like it because it's uneven, so it helps with my stability and balance and everything.
Yeah.
But you have some big trees that fall across the trails,
Yeah.
that I have a very hard time getting my legs over. So
Yeah.
the town came down very quickly last time and cut a bunch of trees out of there that were blocking the trails.
Yeah.
And, you know, there's no number to quantify how many people, but since I've been going down there for a year and a half to now, we're getting so much more public traffic down there.
Really.
It's,
Yeah.
it's amazing, it's very nice to see that people starting to use it. We
Yeah.
put a couple of picnic tables, people coming down and having dinners there and picnic lunches and things like that. And of course, the fishermen are down there, you know, doing the carp fishing and all that type of stuff.
Yeah.
So it's kind of a nice little community down there.
Really. Yeah.
People go down and walk the dogs with the good stuff. It's a nice 2 mile loop. It is
Yeah.
a 2 mile loop along the Merrimack River and up above.
Yeah.
So it's a nice place to walk your dog and go out for, you know, like Diane and I will go down there to be stressed after work some days and have a supper.
Yeah.
So it's a nice little quiet area that a lot of people don't know about the town.
Yeah.
Where's the, like, the trailhead for that? Where?
Well, as you go down Griffin Street, take a very sharp right-hand turn by the pump station, I guess you'd say.
Okay. Yeah.
There's a little marker, DPW came down and put a marker there, a little
Okay.
red mark on the top. So right there, you take a very sharp hairpin turn, go underneath the bridge.
Uh-huh.
On the left-hand side is the remote-controlled airplane.
Okay.
If you go down through there, and then go down, come to the boat launch,
Okay.
which is
Gotcha.
another project we're
Yeah.
going to work on.
Gotcha.
The boat launch on the
Yeah.
Merrimack River
Yeah.
instead of a mud launch.
Yeah.
We had the Fish and Game come down last year and talk about the project. It was very informative. But the problem is they won't be able to get enough boats down on that boat launch to justify the financial cost of putting the boat ramp there. So, okay, we can understand that, but I don't want the project to die like that.
Yeah.
So why can't the town, we put in cement slabs like we have over at Natticook Lake? Because I go down there and I put my kayak in the sinking mud, and I have a hard time getting my feet out of the mud because of my knee structure.
Yeah.
It's not fun.
No.
But it's really the only access to the Merrimack River we have there that we can put a boat into. We've got a Depot Street, we've got the, say, car top, you carry your kayak canoe down under the bridge to the block.
Yeah.
But this you can drive right down to.
Yeah.
So it's very nice.
Yeah.
And we like it to be, let's put it this way, a lot of people go down and use kayaks, but they bring like plywood and stuff to put down. So they can walk out and get in the kayak, when they leave, they sort of leave the stuff there,
Yeah.
then it ends up down the road.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I was thinking if you put just those cement slabs in there,
Yeah.
that would give us a nice structure. But
Yeah.
I digress, we're not here for that, you know?
Yeah.
But that's what I mean, this is a fantastic town. You know,
Yeah.
I've been here for 40 years, I've watched it grow, and, you know, my children raised here, they're raising their children here now. And it's just advantageous that we take the property we have and manage it properly for
Yeah.
better utilization.
Mm-hmm.
I think we have a fantastic town, we've got great staff, we have, you know, fantastic people doing great stuff all the time. But I love this project. Like I said, I grew up in a town, Linfield, and we had a town center. We
Yeah.
had chicken barbecue every week.
Yeah.
You know, it was nice, to pull everybody together, and everybody sit there and talk and have fun. We used to do that for the 4th of July, but that sort of dissipated a little bit. And I think COVID sort of hurt that.
Yeah.
You know, but we're missing something as a town to bind us as a town.
True.
You know, we're becoming just, we work and we come here, and we go to bed, and then we leave. But what's gonna pull us together as a town? Town center? I think it's a great first step.
Mhm.
So I support that 100%.
Good. Thank you, Dave. That's good comments. That's what we're all trying to make happen here, and we get a little piece at a time. But think of any ideas of for raising money for for doing it without money.
Oh, I do.
Let us
We had a lot of volunteers that, we use a lot of our own time and money.
Well, that's how we built the the sidewalk, the little path, if you will, through Abbey Griffin Park. That was all done by the Rotary, in Merrimack, and they've done other things too. And just help me out with geography a little bit. The Sklar property you said was Griffin Street, now, and that's not the same as Greeley Street,
Yeah.
right?
It is.
You gotta go
It
across,
is.
yeah, you go across
Okay.
and then it turns into
Yeah, next
Griffin.
to the Matthew Thornton Cemetery,
Yeah,
we buried down that hill.
yeah.
It was
And then
the
go
old-
left.
Oh, okay, that's in our turf. That's our territory.
Yes.
Yeah.
No. It's south of our territory.
Yeah,
Just
Because
just
we only
we
go
ended-
to,
we're at.
Oh, that's
Patriot
right. We
Square.
only go to Rite Aid.
Yeah.
Sorry.
right.
Yeah. Okay.
and the road, Griffin was actually part of the old Greeley when it came down before the highway.
Yeah.
And the difficulty with the site is the turn.
I understand.
Under the
I've
railroad
been there
tracks,
enough to
and
know.
I
just-
talked a number of years ago with Kyle about making it so Griffin Street, right now it's dead ended. It's got telephone poles up or berms or whatever. But I thought about opening it to make a northbound onto Route 3 only, southbound entrance into Griffin to go down to the boat ramp. But Kyle was worried about people changing, saying, well, I can make it over there and take the left turn in heading south. And so he said it was really too complicated of a plan. So there are limitations.
Yeah.
But it's a great thing. It's a great
Yeah,
asset
yeah.
for sure.
Okay, that's all I have for today, and we need to pick a time for our next meeting, a date, and we don't have any real activity coming up in the rest of February or March, but we could keep things going. Keep loose here. We've got the deliberative session of the town meeting is on March 15th. See, that's written in on my calendar
The
here.
school's the week before?
Huh?
The 6th, yeah, the school's the week before.
Oh, the school's the week before on the 8th?
Monday the 6th.
6th.
Monday the 6th,
Monday the 6th,
snow date's
okay.
the 8th.
Okay,
It's not
got
snowing
it.
this year. It's not gonna snow this year.
It's not gonna snow.
Who said that?
It's been summer most of the winter,
Yes.
except for that weekend.
Yeah.
That weekend.
So, what about March 17th, the St. Patrick's Day?
That's a Friday, yeah. Everybody okay with that?
Yeah.
Okay. March 17th? March 17th it is then.
We'll have to all wear green.
Bring in beer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, yep.
Yeah, we'll do it here at noon on March 17th, St. Patrick's Day. The spring is the following Monday, first day of spring. So we'll have some good weather to look forward
12
to.
hours of dark and 12 hours of light.
I'd entertain a motion to adjourn. That's
So moved.
moved by Michael,
Seconded?
seconded by Karen Contos. And all those in favor of adjournment? Aye. Any opposed or abstaining? None. Bruce, thank you for giving us your time. And I know there's probably plenty of activity.
better prepared the next time.
Okay, well, you know what we ask. You know the kind of question, we'll probably ask the same question, so. Hey, thanks, Karen. Thanks for making it.